People got sun decorations too. I don't want to get it recut on the cable. Give me the same thing. But this, yeah, we're gonna do this. I need a little more.
Yeah, a little more description.
I guess everybody else is like, yeah, okay, well, whatever. We'll figure it out later. The last time I had it done, it was $3,000, and that was only a few years ago.
Good, how you
So, one of those, I mean, I get that we've gone up on things, but, I mean, really?
One of them submitted us include material costs for each element. Should say that one too,
It
right?
should say something. Yeah, right. It should say something. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but seriously, it's not what I am used to reviewing.
You could say not to exceed that number.
Here we go. We close. Okay.
Yeah, that has to do with the introduction. Introduction number 2. Has to do with setbacks for the buildings. I asked him to send it to me because I didn't know what about but
So we don't have anybody here for public hearing for Looney Park. Well, I mean, the room's not full, so. I'm just saying.
Hammond City Council Public Hearing Agenda, February 22nd, 2020, 5:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilman Andrews,
Present.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
present.
Councilman Diviterio, Councilman Leon,
Present.
Councilman Wells.
Present.
Public hearing item number 1.
An ordinance by Starwood Management Company, LLC, and Alice Sheridan to revocate a portion of George Perkins Senior Drive right-of-way and re-subdivide 3 lots in Block 5 and Block 6 of Colonial Place subdivision, located at 609 Mooney Avenue and 701 Mooney Avenue, in accordance with a survey by William J. Bodine, PLS, zoned RM-2, Jeffrey Leuenberger.
And this was just a request that was brought to us at our January 6th zoning commission meeting. It was approved, it was recommended approved 4-0, and it was a revocation of George Perkins Senior Drive. Like Lisa was just saying, it was a portion of the George Perkins Senior Drive that was never completed, and that's being revocated. And per our ordinance, that goes 50-50 between the 2 property owners at 609 and 701 Mooney Ave.
Any questions from anyone on the council? Anyone from the public?
I'm going to note that the hyperlink to this one is actually incorrect, but we got it last time. This is,
Yeah,
the hyperlink is a text amendment, so.
Is it correct further down in the agenda?
I looked at both of them. But it was correct when we introduced it.
Yeah, this is something totally different here. Okay.
Yes. Someone from the public here to speak.
Good evening. My name is Marion Sheridan. I'm Alice Sheridan's daughter, 606-609 South Mooney Avenue, Hammond. I'm here to say that I don't know what y'all's plans are, but we're not interested in any property or revocation of 609 South Mooney Avenue.
And for the record, her mom deceased. And the community don't want this to take place. And like I say all the time, everything I do, I base it on the community. The community the one voted me in office. So I don't make these decisions on my own. So she said here she can get half the property if she okay with it, but she don't want half the property. So, and like I tell everybody, stop making these decisions without coming to the community. Come to the community and talk to the people, and you'll see for yourself what they want and what they don't want. Mr. Jeffrey, I know you don't have nothing to do with this, but these are things that take place in our community that nobody aware of, and then it's too late. We see a building going up. And now it's like, Councilman, Devon, how you let this happen? How you let this happen? I didn't even know what was going on. So, you all heard from Miss Marion, which is my neighbor, and we got other folks in the community talking about it. This was the same one that came up and act a clown, Starwood. So I just want to let y'all be aware of what's going on, that we don't want nothing that he's trying to do. And I tell everybody, I love the council meeting, because guess what? 10 years from now, you can always go back and look and see who said what. Thank you, Miss Mary.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else here from the community on this matter? Thank you. Public hearing item number 2.
An ordinance to rename Mooney Park to Gibson Memorial Park. Councilman Wells.
Thank you. On behalf of Rudolph Gibson, baby boy, Christopher Gibson, he deceased. Roger Gibson, he deceased. Miss Idella Gibson, she deceased. And Mr. Rudolph Paul Gibson, he deceased also. So what I was doing, or what we was doing, we was looking for a name for the park. And once we found out that we could rename the park, I started moving ahead, getting the process done. But what's going on now, the community is 50-50. So what I'm gonna do is anybody from the community would like to come up and speak? Yes.
My name is Robin Glasper Chapman, 112 Mississippi Street, Hammond, Louisiana. I have lived in Hammond all of my life, and ever since I've been in Hammond, I've known about Mooney Park, okay? I want to commend Mr. Wells, our councilman, on all the work that he's done in our community. I commend him, but I am not for the name of the park being changed. Not that I have anything personal against Mr. Gibson, Chris Gibson, or Roderick Gibson, okay, because they are all from the community and they're all deceased. I have 2 sons that played ball in Mooney Park. One of my sons is deceased. So I don't think that we should name a park because people are deceased. We should name the park because of people that have history and people that have really contributed to that particular park or that particular neighborhood. So I'm not for the name being changed. I did not know anything about the name being changed until I had a conversation with someone about the last council meeting, and Mr. Wells said himself that he is for the community. He do what the community wants him to do. So Mr. Wells, I spoke with him. I'm not against him, but I am not for that park being changed. And if that is a conversation, I think that's a conversation we need to have with that whole community, not a selective few. And maybe we can come up with a name. But as of today, I say no. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the community? Okay. That being said,
Mr. Wells, could I just offer a point of information about that park as well? The name Mooney actually comes from the first mayor of Hammond, and his wife was the first postmaster of Hammond. So just
yes, we already did our history. We know that already. Thank you, though. Ms. Marion, could you come up to the front, please? Yes, sir. Not knowing Miss Marion's grandfather, he the one actually sold the property to Hammond to do a park for the kids in the community. And I spoke with her, and this is what she said. She said, well, they call me Deb in the neighborhood. She said, Deb, I don't have a problem with it, but some of the family members might have a problem with it. So I just wanted that to be said for the record. So, Andre, at this time, I would like to take the park off the agenda for right now until we have further discussion in the community.
So right now, you're just in the public hearing. So that would take place at the end of the meeting under final adoption. You could remove it from the agenda, you could table it, vote for it or vote against it, however the council wishes. But one option would be to remove it from the agenda. Okay,
thank you. So I just wanted them to see you, Marion, and what all your grandfather did for the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
Ms. Robin, and the rest of the community, I want to tell you thank you, because that's what I tell anybody, that any problem that you have, please, we can speak or come to the council meeting, because I want everybody to know, and as you see, how involved District 3 is. So whatever takes place, we're going to talk about it, we're going to discuss it, and sometimes we're going to get knocked around one another, but it's going to be all in love. So thank you, Ms. Robin.
All right, that concludes our public hearing session. Hammond City Council regular session agenda, February 22nd, 2022. Roll call, please.
Councilman Andrews?
Present.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Present.
Councilman Divatario?
Present.
Councilman Leon?
Present.
Councilman Wells?
Present.
Prayer. Most gracious, loving, eternal, heavenly Father, we thank you on this evening. We give you glory and honor and praise that is due your name, Father, just thanking you for who you are. Thanking you, Father, that you allowed your darling son to die upon the cross, that we too would have access to the tree of life. Father God, my prayer on this evening that everything will be done decent and order and pleasing and in your sight, where therefore you will get all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. Father God, create in us a clean heart. Father God, draw us close to you right now. If there's ever a time we need you right now. So, Father God, I ask that you continue to look down upon the city of Hammond, look down on our various communities right now. I ask you to continue to bless this council, continue to bless the neighborhoods that they represent right now. Not only that, dear Father, continue to bless their families. Father God, I ask you to continue to bless our fire department, our police department, that they continue to protect and serve us right now. Oh, Father, we just thank you right now. We just thank you right now for all that you have done for us and all that you're going to continue to do right now. Father God, we ask you to continue to keep us throughout this COVID that's going on right now, Father God. From whom the Son set free is free indeed. So we just thank you, Father God, that our chains have been broken. And we're going to continue to move forward and continue to stand flat-foot and continue to move in that what you have called us to do. Wherefore you will get all praise, all glory, and all honor. In your darling Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Pledge of Allegiance. All veterans and active military, please render the proper salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I ask as we proceed throughout this meeting, if anyone comes up to the podium please speak clearly into the microphone. Make sure you give your name and address, and please keep everything respectable and decent where we will respect one another and continue to move forward in our meeting. Right now, we're down to our section of reports. We'll start with the mayor.
The mayor regrets that he cannot be here tonight. He is very ill. Otherwise, he certainly wanted to be here for tonight, especially for this important recognition in our community. So that's all we'll give for the report.
Okay. Council reports?
I'll announce, I'm having a town hall meeting tomorrow night, Wednesday, February 23rd at 5 p.m. For District 2 to address some crime issues. HPD and Crime Stoppers will be there, so anyone who wants to attend, please come out. 5 o'clock here tomorrow.
Any other council reports?
Yes. Sunday, Mooney Park, the new bathrooms. They was locked all day Sunday. I went out to the park. I had a woman coming up to me, her child wanted to use the bathroom, 5 years old. And me being myself, I said, ma'am, you in Mooney Park, go to the porta cans. That's what they have them for. They're not for us to use. So I'm saying this here we got bathrooms. One need to be tore down and one a new bathroom, but yet they lock. So they not serving a purpose on Sunday. What time? Because I know I'm gonna hear that next. At 1:30, I was in the park Sunday evening. The kids were playing basketball. And the stop sign on Phoenix and Spruce. How we coming along with the stop sign?
We need to have the committee meeting to discuss the different perspectives of that, along with the first responders. We pulled that accident data, as we spoke about in the past. I know you mentioned that there were a lot of accidents that had not been reported, so if we could get some sort of, I guess, statement about that, or maybe the person who has seen all the accidents could also offer and come to the meeting and offer their perspective.
Okay. Ms. Cox, could you please come forward, please?
Good evening.
How y'all doing?
Good.
Ms. Cox is here because she stay on Phoenix Avenue. And she the ones that request for the stop sign. So that's why she here, and she want to talk about what's going on in the area.
Yes, again, I'm Joyce Cox, and I've been in Hammond all my life. I've been on Phoenix about 35 years, and since I've been there, my children grown up there, and I have grandchildren there, and senior citizens, and there have been racing, cars have been coming through racing, 18-wheelers have been coming through, knocking down our wires, from cable wires to light wires. Also there, when they're racing, we have also almost seen a little child years ago almost got hit from a car racing. So I always call and make reports to send someone out to slow the traffic down. So that's what we're needing, a stop sign or something to make them really stop, the 18-wheelers to stop knocking down the wires from people's homes. We need assistance.
Thank you, Ms. Joyce.
Ms. Cox, before you move, could you give us your address for the record, please?
Yes, thank you. My address is 404 Phoenix Square, Hammond, Louisiana, 70403.
Thank you.
So do we have anyone else in the neighborhood to talk about the stop signs? Yes. You could come to the front, please.
How you doing?
Okay.
My name is Stacy Watson. My current address is not Phoenix, but I lived on Phoenix in my home for 17 plus years. And I can say that the speed that comes through there is just unbearable. Because, I mean, they would fly through. And on more than one occasion, I am familiar with Officer Banks.
I will call him Poochie Banks. He's, retired now. But I would say, you need some tickets, you need to come over here on Phoenix because we need to slow these people down. So a stop sign on Spruce would kind of break the speed down some. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to talk about the stop sign?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Lena Harrison Martin, and I live at 504 Phoenix Square. And we do need stop signs. We need a sign for the big 18-wheelers. My wires have been knocked down more than once, and I can't see the one that done it. They knock it down and I'm not home. So the company is not reliable because I can't see who did it, But we definitely need a stop sign, and the racing, I saw myself. They're racing up on Phoenix Square. So I definitely think we need a stop sign.
Thank you. Is anyone else about the stop sign? That being said, what I want the city to do, and I'm gonna go and pick out some streets in the good community where I don't see no flying at, where I don't see none of this taking place, and I want that same data that you telling me about, because I know this here for a fact. They had a lawyer's son got hit. And when he got hit, they went crazy with the stop signs. They put stop signs all around their community. So this is my second time in 3 years asking about a $10 stop sign, and it took 2 years to get the stop sign, the first stop sign. And now it looks like it's gonna take another 2 years. They didn't ask you to pave the street. They didn't ask for sidewalks. They didn't ask for drainage. They asked for a $10 stop sign, and look what I got to go through to get a stop sign. They didn't even ask for speed bumps. And so I'm saying this here, and this is what I tell the community. Whatever you ask for, I don't mind doing whatever it takes to get it. But now you get a chance to see how much I have to fight for any little thing. Thank you. Everybody came out and spoke about the stop sign and the park.
I appreciate everybody speaking. It helps us hear the different perspectives, and it helps us hear and understand what you want on your streets. One of the things that we do is a full collective effort. It's not just one person making a decision about that. All of the first responders in the community are involved in that decision. The civil engineer for the city is involved in that decision. The streets department director is involved in that decision. We take the crash data from that intersection. We take crash data from nearby intersections and compare all of that, because what we have in our city is different sizes and different lengths of streets. Some streets are meant to be neighborhood streets that have maybe a stop sign at each point. Some are meant to be more collectors, where more trucks will be traveling, because that helps your overall traffic flow. So there are different purposes for different streets, and that's why it's not just a one-person $10 stop sign. There is an effort that we go through to make sure that it is an appropriate application of a sign, because what would be even worse is if we put up a whole bunch of stop signs everywhere, all the traffic snarls down, and then everybody's complaining because there's too many stop signs and you can't get anywhere. So there is an effort that we go through to analyze those and document it. I don't remember the last one taking 2 years. I do know it did take a while, and it took a while too, because what's important is that we have all that information. So hearing from you and hearing your stories helps us piece together more than just the data of that. So thank you for coming out.
Yeah, all that sound good. But one thing about District 3, the community know the truth. Because we can sit up here and talk all day long. But like I said, the same data that you said you have on Phoenix Square, I want to see that same data. I want to see them same reports. Everybody that you said got together, the emergency, the fire department, the police department, I want to see that same data. I want to see that same information. The day of the meeting, I want to see all of that when I ride through the neighborhood, the good neighborhood, to see all them stop signs that shouldn't be there, but every block, stop, every block, stop. So I want to see that same data, and I'm gonna go through the neighborhood and get it, and we're gonna talk about it. And so everything that you give me, I'm gonna bring it back to the community so they can see.
What do we have on policy right now on the stop sign process of getting one put out? Is it something in writing that, you know, the fire chief,
Yes,
the police chief, the
Yeah.
mayor, who's all involved in this?
that's what I just described. So it's the city engineer, it's the street department director, it's usually the council person from that district. The mayor is involved in that meeting, and then it's fire, police, and Acadian ambulance. It's the people who would have to know what's going on in that neighborhood, you know, and who are going to be impacted either. It's similar to what the speed hump is. Same.
Is that an
form.
ordinance?
No, it's not an ordinance, to my knowledge.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Any other council reports? Steve? Councilwoman Gonzalez? No. Councilman DeVitorio?
I'm good.
All right. At this time, I'd like to call up Mr. Dennis Wise. He wants to make a presentation to the city and the council.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was down here earlier.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dennis Wise. My address is 619 Mill Street in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I want to thank you. I'm sorry the mayor isn't here tonight, but I want to thank the council for having me here and staff. I'm here to deliver what I think is awesome news. I'm here representing my company, Recyclops, but also over 100 families in the area that want to be able to recycle from their home. And that's what Recyclops is. Recyclops is an environmental company that provides at-home recycling collection in places all across America where it's not available. So I'll tell you why I'm here today. We actually were going to do this last fall, but Mayor asked me to hold off because of the most recent hurricane. He said, would you just wait till next year or so? Let me tell you how we get to this spot. Our site, we operate in 27 states now, in over 180 municipalities, and people come from all across the country to our site and they ask that our services be available in any given municipality. When we start to get a certain level of those numbers coming in, we start to investigate what's going on in that region. So question number one is, do they have a municipal program? And if the answer is no, then we start looking deeper. Do they have another company? Do they have somebody else providing these services? And again, if the answer to that is no, then we're very interested. Then we start messaging back and forth with those folks that come in and request the service. What makes our service unique and why we're able to go into areas that don't have recycling because they couldn't afford to do it in the first place, or in the case of over 200 municipalities over the last 2 years have had to cancel or terminate their program, is our model is an Uber-like model. I think you all received this information last year. I think you have maybe some level of familiarity with it. And the reason they say it's an Uber type model is because we really did borrow quite a bit from Uber setting up our business. On the operational side, we don't have the overhead of buying $400,000 trucks that are really heavy and tear up your streets. And we also don't have the overhead of municipal employees because we do use an Uber style, which is using independently contracted drivers that use their own vehicle to go to homes and pick up recycled goods from those people at their homes. On the legal side of things, the other thing we borrowed from Uber when we brought executives over was the legal standing. So if you think about cabs and livery, every municipality in the United States has ordinances and codes that govern those things. Of course, Uber and Lyft came along and just kind of, totally changed the way that we look at that. And we've done that from the waste side of things. So in terms of what our business is, it's a subscription service just like Netflix, just like DoorDash, just like Uber, just like DoorDash. People can select whether or not they want to have this service. It is a virtual service, meaning we do not have a presence in the city. We do, of course, provide employment opportunities to those drivers, but we don't have a physical presence here. We are simply an online subscription service. People come online, they sign up, and they request that their materials be picked up. From a 100% customer perspective, it's very simple. They come in, they sign up, and for as little as $12 a month, they can get their recyclables picked up every other week at their home. The materials that are collected here go to the MRF that we use in Baton Rouge. So actually, Hammond and Ponchatoula were working at the same time, and we're targeting the third week of March to launch. We'll be the first communities in Louisiana, but we'll be working on Denham Springs, and we'll be working on we're getting a lot of demand from Mandeville and Madison. Is it Madison Heights? Madisonville, and also Mandeville and Covington. But I'm a little unsure about that because I think they have a contractor there that collects their materials there. So I don't know why we're getting so much demand from there, but we'll check into it. We've been using the MRF in Baton Rouge for quite some time because Starkville and I'm forgetting what's my other Mississippi. Vicksburg, Mississippi. We take material all the way from there, all the way over to Baton Rouge. So we've been working with those folks for a couple of years. I think that I've addressed everything here. We don't ask the city or any of our municipal folks for any type of consideration. We don't solicit them. We don't ask for a contract. We don't ask for a franchise because of the type of business we are. We don't look for that kind of thing. There are instances, I think we have 7 contracts around the country where that municipality still wanted to provide municipal pickup, but they didn't want to continue to do it with their employees, and so they contracted with us to de facto be their collection arm. So there are cases like that around the country, but overwhelmingly, we are completely separate from the city. When we talk about the city and we talk about working with you, the only thing we ask, and again, it's completely up to the city, is that if you have the ability to help us to educate and inform your residents, and by that I mean we could provide content, you see some content there, that you could put on your website, whether it's a link or other content, and your social media platforms, it's very helpful. And the city not only benefits hugely from being able to say that we've brought our residents this type of service, we've provided it at no cost to the city. It's a 100% opt-in or elected thing, but also in all of those surveys that take place, best places to live, best places to work, best places to retire, curbside recycling has a very heavy weighting in that survey. So it brings up your profile in that too. And I want to thank you very much for providing the opportunity for me to speak to you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, didn't nobody say nothing, but I'm gonna ask you this here. I see you say about using locals and stuff. So do y'all have placards? Yes, sir. You can come to the front.
I'm sorry, your question was?
Yeah, I see you have on here that y'all use locals.
Yes.
Okay.
100%. They have to be local, yeah.
Okay, what I'm asking you, do y'all use placard? Will they have shirts on? Because what's going on, we got a lot of fraud going on right now.
Yep.
And I want to make sure that nobody in my community, thinking that somebody doing recycling, but yet robbing them.
Yeah, so I'll dive a little bit deeper on how this works. So in terms of how it effectively works for a customer, they don't have to have the big bulky cart. We provide them custom bags. One bag is for plastics, metal, paper, and then another bag is for glass. And we tell people, don't bother putting your cardboard in a bag because it just takes up so much room. Just flatten the cardboard, put your bags on top. And our folks have shirts. They have basically golf shirts that say Recycle Ops on it. Of course, sometimes they're going to have coats on, and it'll cover that up. But yes, I think you have a photo in that deck where you see a magnetic placard on the vehicle. Let me see what page number.
Yes, I see it.
See it? Yeah.
On page 7. Okay. When these folks no longer working with you all, do y'all take the placards from them? Do y'all get the placards back from them?
We try to. Sometimes, sometimes that's not possible. I mean, getting the shirt back and getting the placard back sometimes doesn't work. But most of the time, we don't lose drivers because it's pretty lucrative. I mean, it averages about $25 to $27 per hour, and it just depends on what kind of vehicle you have and how much you can pick up at any given time. If you have a big pickup truck and you have a walled trailer, you're going to make more than $25 to $27 an hour because you can do more stops at one time.
Right. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Andrews.
Thank you. You're welcome. And the last thing I'd like to say before we move out of our reports, I'd just like to congratulate those officers that were promoted to sergeant and lieutenant on today from the Hammond Police Department. All right. Can I get an approval on our minutes from January 25th, 2020 meeting, please?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
All right. I need an approval of our meeting from February the 8th, 2022 meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Resolutions none, old business none, new business. Resolution number 1.
A resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with Civics for $88,415 to conduct a housing and residential area strategic growth study, RFP 22-16. See pages 33 through 34 for cost details. Lacey Landrum.
So in this item, you have two attachments. The first attachment is the request for proposals that was used to solicit the different proposals. We did receive a number of proposals back, and those were all reviewed by the Housing Committee and their subcommittee. And I see several of those members here tonight. They have come back with the recommendation to enter into a contract with Civics, and at this time, we would like to make that contingent on council appropriation. So we're going to go into further discussion and negotiations with Civics now that they are upon your approval, the selected consultant, to see what we can get in terms of our best pricing. You will see there are 3 elements marked there in terms of the pricing that they offered, and we're going to go into negotiations for our best pricing.
Yep. That sounds good. Lacey, I've been in contact with members from the committee, and they all pretty much spoke highly of the Civic company, and seems like they've actually created a committee within the committee to talk with the chosen company. Does anybody want to speak about it?
Speak.
Yeah.
Lamar Marshall, 1104 Rue Chalet, Hammond, Louisiana. Council, we've met. I know we met last week. I know Joe Mears is not here tonight, but we met, and as Lacey mentioned, we all agree that the Civic would be the. We graded each RFP, and the group that we chose was by far the best group overall. And then I think if you guys, with your permission to continue the process of, if the resolution passes, then we'll just have another time to talk with them, renegotiate the final price, and then if we're able to do that, bring that back, and then hopefully you guys will be able to decide to move forward with that. So we feel we're in pretty good shape. We did, anticipating that you would approve the resolution, we have already voted in a committee that will sit down and do the process.
Thank you.
Questions you guys have? Okay.
Thank you, Lamar. Andre, should I had a little amendment I was thinking about, possibly to accept the recommendation of Civic and to request that the Housing Committee enter into a final negotiations on a price for the project and submit that to the council for consideration and acceptance.
And subject to appropriation of funds.
Exactly.
Yep.
Is that,
That could be the motion.
okay? All right. Sounds good. I would like to make a motion. Do I need to read all that back out again?
Only if the other council members have a question.
Do y'all? Are y'all good?
Second. I want to thank Councilman Sam for putting this in place, and I want to thank Mr. Lamar, because we pick these people to get on these committees, and nobody never really know how much they have to show up and how much time that they take from their family being on these committees. So I see Mr. Lamar in here, so I definitely want to thank you and whoever else on the committee. Oh, okay then. Yeah, could the members raise their hands? Yeah, for all the members on that committee, I want to thank you, for everything that y'all doing. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to second that as well. Even the members that are not here tonight, it takes a lot of time to sit on all these boards and committees throughout the city, not just the housing committee, but all committees. And yeah, I thank y'all. Y'all worked really hard on this committee to present us some good information to hopefully improve some issues. So appreciate it.
We thank you for your work. Ms. Lisa, can we call for the vote?
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Resolution number 2.
A resolution to approve Kangaroo number 553, located at 1200 South Morrison Boulevard, Hammond, Louisiana, 70403, to obtain a permit to sell packaged high-low alcohol. The owner is MMCS Services, LLC, Casey Daigle.
Good afternoon. We come before y'all this afternoon requesting a permit for Kangaroo number 553. This is a business that is already established. We just have a change of ownership to MMC. They have complied with everything we've requested, sent all their paperwork in and everything else. We're just here to seek y'all approval.
And could you give us your address for the record, please?
The address is 1200 South Morrison.
Is there anyone else here from the community, the public on this matter?
Who district this in?
I think that's your district, Devon. That's South Morrison. Is that right by the Regions Bank on the south side of Region Bank?
Across from Ross Downing.
Yeah, that's on the corner of Rue Simone and Morrison. So it should be yours. I think that's where the line is.
Yeah, but they don't have, I didn't see no Kangaroo name on the building.
Yeah, me either.
So the Circle K.
Okay.
It was the old Circle K. That's a new name and a
Yeah.
new business.
All right.
So it is going to be a Kangaroo now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have Mr. Mike Joyner here for MMC. He is the local representative for the company.
Good evening.
My name's Michael Joyner. I'm with MMCS Services. I can answer any questions that you might have.
How you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm the councilman in that district, and I just want to tell you, thank you for your business and welcome to the community.
Thank you. We're proud to be here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions? Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public? Pleasure of the council.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Resolution number 3.
A resolution for the Hammond City Council to accept the recommendations from Seth W. Stoughton report and initiate developing a request for proposals to solicit information from private entities that will conduct a comprehensive review of the Hammond Police Department and its operations. Councilman Wells.
Thank you, Ms. Lisa. At this time, it wouldn't make sense for me to talk about something and the mayor not here. So when the mayor not sick, I would like to put this back on the agenda.
So you're requesting to table it?
Yes.
Second.
Councilman Andrews,
Aye.
Councilman Divatario,
Aye.
Councilman Wells,
Aye.
Councilman Leon,
Aye.
and Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Resolution number 4.
A resolution supporting the submission of a $45,000 application to the Traffic Safety Grant Program for impaired driving, occupant protection, and juvenile underage drinking enforcement. Charles Bosher.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This was pretty straightforward. This is almost identical to the application we submitted last year. Every year we have an opportunity to apply for this grant through the Louisiana Highway Safety Commission. There's no match requirement. It is an overtime-based grant, meaning that we pay our officers to work extra hours to enforce seatbelt use, to do DUI, DWI, checkpoints and saturation patrols, looking for people who might be under the influence. And there's also a juvenile underage drinking component where we actually have undercover that go into bars, into convenience stores, and attempt to make purchases without the proper identification. That sometimes leads to citations and other consequences for the businesses if they do make those sales.
Any questions from anyone on the council? Anyone from the public?
Is there a match on this? Did you say that?
There's no match.
Pleasure of the council.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Andrews,
Aye.
Councilman Divatario,
Aye.
Councilman Wells,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilman Leon.
Aye.
All right. Resolution number 5.
A resolution approving the purchase of an emergency generator for Lift Station 51 located at High Park Boulevard in District 3 in the amount of $44,624.83 under Lake Pontchartrain Basin Restoration Program Grant 58562A, City Project 32102. Charles Barsher.
Thank you. The one thing I failed to put in that line item is that this is a purchase from ARCO, which has the state contract for the generator. We did do a comparison. We were curious if the state contractor pricing would be the lowest pricing, so we actually reached out to another vendor, one that we've had success giving us good pricing on generators before. So the two quotes that you had that were attached to the agenda show a pretty significant difference in those costs. In fact, it's actually more cost-effective to go with the optional aluminum enclosure on this generator, which is included in this price. That protects the generator from sewer gases. There's also a conversion that's required. This is a 208 volt as opposed to like 240. This is the better price on state contract. We will be paying for this completely out of the project account. That project actually has funds in it to purchase 2 generators, so we're going to purchase this one first, receive it, install it. That way the warranty can start pretty close to when it's installed, and then we'll actually start bidding out the second one and see what the pricing comes out on that one.
Okay. Any questions from anyone on the council?
Yes. See, it's a emergency generator.
Correct.
On Phoenix Square, when the last time y'all installed an emergency generator on Phoenix Square?
Phoenix Square?
Yes.
That's
I don't know if
Lift
I have it.
Station 8.
I don't know if I have the date, but I can tell you at least whether it has an emergency generator. And it does, yes. I believe, I have to go back and check this, but I believe Phoenix Square was installed under a grant, the same grant,
What date?
probably 6 years ago. It was a while ago if it was installed under a grant. It's also a fairly large generator, if I remember correctly.
Okay, now, what sewer issues are they having out there?
At,
Heidi Park. Yeah, I know they got sewer issues.
so my understanding is that that area around Chapapila Park, High Park, is that connecting street from Airport Road that goes toward Chapapila. I think the Burger King that was built in the corner. That area has seen a lot of development. There's another generator on the other side of I-12, lift station 54. I'm sorry, I said generator, lift station. That lift station pumps sewage from that area that's had a lot of development. You've got the Cypress Point, I think, is out there. There's some apartment complexes. That gets pumped to 50. So 50 then pushes that to the next generator on the system, and then it eventually goes straight back to the sewer treatment facility.
Okay, I'm asking again. What sewer issues are they having out there?
I'm not aware of any particular sewer issues. I understand that this is a prioritized generator because it's serving an area that's highly industrial and has had a lot of development in the last few years.
Okay, and this is why I asked this here. It's a lot going on out there, and I know you're aware. We don't know what's going on Mooney Avenue. We don't know what's going on Mississippi Street. I'm saying, here we talking about a generator, an emergency generator. But yet, look at all the sewer issues that we're having on Mooney Avenue and Mississippi Street. And I heard you say about the Burger King, because just like there's Zaxby over there in my area, we having a lot of issues over there. And guy said it, that the grease is coming from that restaurant going through the sewer line. So I haven't heard nobody, because it's in my district, I haven't heard nobody complain about sewer issues whatsoever over there. But yet, you done heard, and the city have heard about the sewer issues that we have in raw sewer going on in the houses. So when I talked, you told me, not you, but the city told me, well, we just did some emergency, this and that. That's the first priority on the list, but I can't tell.
That project has already been let. So the $750,000 for the new sewer lift station on Mississippi and for the full upgrade of the Mooney lift station, that project is already going. Lawson Bonet is already doing that work. That was $750,000. There's also the decoupling of the 3 force mains that come in right there as well, which went closer to like $1 million for that whole project. So those projects are already under construction and working. This grant is only specific for emergency generators. And so this is a lift station that doesn't have a generator, whereas there's lots of other generators throughout our town that do have the backup generators. So this is one of those that we're just trying to move. You kind of move like a heart. You start in the middle and you work your way out to the surrounding generators and the ones that have the greater load to be able to have the whole system flow in.
But didn't you say they had one over there already?
Not a generator. There are lift stations.
Yes, over there.
So what we're talking
one
about
on the other
here-
side of the interstate, am I right?
There's a lift station, but not a generator.
Okay.
There's a lift station on the south side of I-12 that services that area around Cypress Point that feeds directly to lift station 50. Neither of those lift stations currently have a generator.
Okay,
So
but
just to make sure that everyone understands, what these emergency generators do is when there is a power outage like we had during the hurricane, these generators allow those lift stations to continue operating. That prevents buildup and backup of sewer in locations that lift station services. So we've been prioritizing, for as long as I've been here and before then, lift stations that serve large areas that are also collector lift stations for multiple other lift stations. This, like I said earlier, is an area that has seen a lot of growth in the last few years. So if a lift station were to go out, we had a power outage and that lift station number 50 could not continue to pump sewage, that sewage could then begin backing up into those businesses and residences around it. This is all about trying to maintain the system's operation when there's a power outage.
okay, I understand what you're saying, but apparently I'm not making myself clear. Apparently don't nobody understand me. We got issues going on, and I just heard you say it. I go by what y'all say. You said it's been 6 years since the last time we did a generator on Phoenix. And you know the issues that we've been having. So I'm all about the sewer because, and I never heard you say, Ms. Lacy say, let it be known, everybody's sewer, everybody, Southeastern, let me say it for the record, Southeastern, even the new Midline coming, the airport, Hyde Park, Cypress Point, West Park, Villa West, Blackburn, everybody's sewer come through District 3. Everybody. And so if everybody's sewer coming through District 3, now, I guess I'm supposed to holler now because you worried about, or the city, because I know you didn't do this, the city worried about the sewer backing up in these people's houses, but yet we not worried about Mooney Avenue, we're not worried about Mississippi Street. Don't tell me about the $1 million because I know all about that. Don't tell me about the $750,000. I know all about that. But we having an issue today. Today, I couldn't flush my toilet. Today. For that little rain we had. Today. I stay on Moon Avenue. So this should be our first priority. We shouldn't talk about sewer nowhere until we get these people under control and say, guess what? Ma'am, sir, you don't have to worry about sewer no more in your house. That's all I'm looking for. These are the conversations we have every day. I know you don't have nothing to do with it, but the city don't realize we have a major problem. But you know what? I'm quite sure. And I'm going to say it because you know what? Look like I'm getting sued for everything, everything I say up here. So guess what? Let the lawsuits continue. If sewer was going on in Southeastern, we'll shut Hammond down to get that sewer from up there. If sewer was going on with all these stop signs in these good communities, we'll shut the city down to get that sewer out these people's houses. The same thing we do for them, I want you to do it for District 3. The same thing. Let's get the sewer out the people's houses in District 3. I'm through.
Anyone else from the council? Anyone from the community?
Grant, sorry, Charles, this is under a grant? This is grant money?
Correct.
Okay.
This is a grant that was previously
within
approved.
budget?
Yes, ma'am.
Pleasure of the council.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Y'all got something to say. I'm glad y'all did that. It's amazing. See how quiet everybody get when we talk about sewer in District 3? You know, it's amazing. You can't hear a pin drop, you know. And I'm saying this here because you know what? I'm going to keep saying it. Just like that stop sign, you know, give me the data on the stop sign. Give me the data on the sewer, Miss Lace. See, this is the data that I need. And I'm going to give you the data on everybody that got the application that received sewer in their house. See, that's the data that I have. I got evidence. I'm not just making up nothing. Everybody that voted on it has been second and everything. So I just want to make that clear.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman DiViterio?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
I don't want no sewer in nobody's house.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles.
Charles.
Final adoption of ordinance. Old business, none. New business, number 1.
Final adoption of an ordinance by Starwood Management Company, LLC, and Alice Sheridan to revocate a portion of George Perkins Senior Drive right-of-way and re-subdivide 3 lots in Block 5 and Block 6 of Colonial Place subdivision located at 609 Mooney Avenue and 701 Mooney Avenue in accordance with the survey by William Bodine, PLS, zoned RM-2.
And again, this is a servitude revocation taking place at off of Mooney Avenue. It's a portion of George Perkins Senior Drive that was never completed. To bring up, on January at the zoning commission meeting on January 6th, it was approved unanimously at a 4-0 vote. To bring up your point, Mr. Wells, when I came in, I know that this was a pending case, and when it comes to planning commission cases, by state law, we have 60 days after application to approve or deny an application. So we put it on the agenda, and we had a legal opinion to move forward with it, even though the owner of the property was deceased and was still on the signature line. So we went and made sure we got a legal opinion for that.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with it. Did you get a legal opinion when they were talking about the property for Adrian Wells and Miss Lily Scott?
Concerning?
She deceased. I'm saying you sit there and say.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so we're gonna do everything the proper way. So, thank you for that record. And I wish you'd have told that to Starwood, because he came up here and talked about Miss Scott was dead and all that since 1985. Yeah, so wasn't nothing, you didn't say that then, so, you know, it's amazing. And this is what I tell everybody. I want the same for every black, the same you do for every white. That's all I ask for. It shouldn't be about color. It should be fair. That's all I asked for day one when I got up here. I just want you to be fair to everybody. I know you're new to the system. I know that. But that's what should have been said the first time. So this time, I got the people from the community. And so they want to speak about it. Thank you, Mr. Jeff. Yes, ma'am, you could come up.
I live at 407 White Street, and my deceased mother is Lily Darden Scott. And I didn't appreciate it when I read, somebody called me that saw it on YouTube that, you know, Starwood had her obituary and was talking about her death and everything. I just think that was out of order, you know, for him to do that, you know, because she's been deceased a long time, yeah, but she got descendants down here. So I just don't think that was fair. And where he get obituary from, I wouldn't know.
So, Miss Ernestine, come back up for a minute, please. So, do you approve what the city want to take place for Starwood? Do you approve what the city?
I don't even know what they want to.
They trying to give him property on the other side, on the north side of you. The city trying to give him property, him and Miss Marion.
Is that next to my mama's house or on the other side?
On the other side.
Well, like I told y'all before, I think apartment complex and all that should be in area that's commercial, wherever, for apartments. Like, you got your apartments in a place that's for apartments. They are nice and they're for apartment and everything. And I think they should have an audience that they could own, like they don't want trailers everywhere. They should have where they don't want duplex in a neighborhood where homes and right next to the home, we don't have enough room.
All right.
That's my thing.
Thank you. Anybody?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Claude Sims. I reside in Texas, but I'm an owner of the property at 806 South Mooney Avenue. It's my homestead property. I was raised there. I lived there for over 40 years. I think that area is conducive toward a neighborhood for single property dwelling. That property should be only for single property dwelling, and I also feel that property should not be given to Mr. Starwood to make any other type of development that's necessary in that regard. The other thing that I'm concerned about was my auntie, and her name is Miss Lily Scott. I was totally appalled to hear that information from Mr. Starwood in regard to that property and her death, and I'm still upset about that.
Yes. Are you aware that he's building a duplex there now on that property?
No, no.
Yes, he's doing a duplex, which the city gave him the permit to do.
I disagree with that.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Yes, well, that's what the city doing right now as we speak. Yeah. That's the guy right there who you need to see.
But I contest this.
Mr. Jeffrey, he talking to you now.
Yes, I contest it. And I've been living at 806 Mooney Avenue, and it's unacceptable.
Okay, I have a question. I feel like maybe some people know some things that I don't know what's happening here. So they want, the applicant wants to have a street that's not going to be built. I'm just trying to make sure I'm understanding. I'm not arguing with you, Devon. Let me make sure I understand.
I'm not going to argue with you.
They want to revocate land that belongs to the city technically and give it to the neighboring property owners. Is that correct?
Yes, you're right.
Okay, and then, is that for the purpose of making it bigger to then therefore build a duplex, or is they're already permitted to do that?
You got that,
I don't know
Mr. Jeff, for that?
Duplexes are allowed in that area. I know the lot sizes are an issue when it comes to that, and he had come for a variance for the lot size and wasn't granted the variance for the lot size. But duplexes are zoned for that area.
So the intention would be to make the lot bigger and therefore meet the requirement and not need a variance?
And even at that,
if that was...
Yeah.
Okay.
But I thought I saw him here, but
okay.
It's not here.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't have his lot made bigger, he needs a variance for a duplex.
Oh, no. From my understanding, he doesn't want to. He's making it a lot bigger, but he wasn't approved the variance for the duplex.
But he's starting on a duplex now. It's a single house that he's turning the single house into a duplex. I went and got the permit from the city today. So he's doing a single house, turning it into a duplex now. And could you tell him the lot size right now?
I would have to.
So the lot zone for the lot zone for duplexes right now.
Yes.
The question is right now currently how it sits. Does the minimum square footage of that lot meet the requirements to build a duplex? Or does he need the additional land from the city street that's abandoned to add to that lot? That's the question.
Yeah. And no, he doesn't have enough room for a duplex as it is, and without.
He does not meet the requirements, the minimum square footage.
To my understanding, no.
Okay, I'm confused here.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody there.
Thank you.
No problem. Ron Matthews, 905 Del Mar, Planning and Zoning Commissioner. The application that was in that we reviewed was denied because the lot size was too small for a duplex. Now, I don't know what permit he has in hand right now that went through code enforcement. I'm assuming he applied for a single-family dwelling.
You got Mr. Jeffrey right there. The single-family house, right now, it's turning out to be a duplex. Okay. I went and got the permit today.
Well, you're the council. It's in your hands. You can put whatever restraints you want on this property that's going to be revocated. Since the property is going through revocation, I think the state laws, correct me if I'm wrong, Andre, stating that the adjoining neighbors get the property equally.
Yeah, so what happens is if you
Sever the property equally.
revoke a servitude or right-of-way, you take the middle of the street that wasn't built or is not needed, and it goes automatically on both sides, ownership on both sides.
So, with that being said, the issue that needs to be addressed currently is how is he developing or building the current permitted plan he has, or permit he has. If the application was for a single-family dwelling and he's building something different than a single-family dwelling, code enforcement need to go out there and put a stop and cease on it.
Yeah, I agree with you, but
now, and after if you all approve the revocation, for the severance of the property to the equal landowners, and it comes back later for an application for a duplex, you can address it at that point.
Okay.
But it would have to come back.
But if it's zoned and if it meets the measurements, the square footage with the
additional property.
Yes, then there's really there's nothing to be talked.
It's in the hands of the permit office, and the permit office has addressed it from that point. So I think the issue that we have at hand tonight is the fact that code enforcement need to verify what they issued in the form of a permit versus what's being built. Once that's satisfied, if he's in compliance, he's in compliance. But if he's out of compliance, it's left up to code enforcement to do.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Matthews. Okay, I got Ms. Matt. You can call.
We're got land and they were gonna give the people that own the land, give them half the land or whatever. I don't think they should give nobody land that to come in and build a duplex. It's the owner of the land that before they give it to them, cause they got descendants that might need or you know, get something there. Whether you get somebody come in and charge that come in from somewhere else that's out of town, and we got a lot of poor people already in our neighborhood that might need the land and try to help get something. You're gonna come in here and get and build something and make money. You know, and I just have a problem with that. And it's a neighborhood, and just like in these subdivisions, you can't do anything in these subdivisions. When you go buy a house in a subdivision, you can't do everything we want to do in a subdivision. And I think it should be like that in a neighborhood. You can't do anything and build anything and do anything in a neighborhood that's an old neighborhood like Mooney Avenue and all in the whole area, you know, where you got older people and everything. I don't think you should just let the land go that you're giving for them to come in and build a duplex to make money.
Thank you. Ms. Marion, can you come up, please?
I'm not understanding. Mr. Starwood wants to build a duplex on, I think Ms. Mary's house was 3 bedrooms?
Yes. Yes.
1 bath?
Yes.
And so because Mr. Starwood wants to turn her home into a duplex, he wants more property?
Yes.
And that's going to affect my mom's property. If it's something that I'm not interested in because Mr. Starwood wants it, does that mean that I have to accept it?
Mr. Matthews, that's the one, the property would go to her family. She talked to her sisters. They don't want it. And they don't want what Starwood trying to do in the community. And see, and I say this here, and I'm going to say it again. I work for the community. If the community tell me something, that's what I do. And not just I do it at their house. They going to come out to the council meeting and say what they want and what they don't want. And you heard her. You heard Ms. Ernestine. Who else? Somebody else in the community. You hear what they say. They do not want it. And I heard what you said. It's up to the city councilman, but it's been said loud and clear. Mr. Jeffrey, I hope you hearing what we're saying. It's been said loud and clear that the community don't want it.
I hear you. I don't know how often in the past history your planning commissioner is active in a council meeting. I'm just trying to assist. But that is you brought up a very interesting point that if the landowner does not want portions of the revocation, I see the attorney getting his mic ready because he knew I was getting ready to ask him a question. What do we do?
They can do with it whatever they want. State law says by operation of law, once the city revokes a right-of-way, by operation of law, it goes to the adjoining landowners equally down the middle. If the Sheratons don't want their piece, they can give it away. They could give it away.
Right.
But by operation of law,
It automatically get
it
ownership.
automatically goes, you have really no discretion. Once you revoke it, it goes to the adjoining landowners on both sides equally down the middle, period. Sheratons don't want their piece, they could do with it what they want.
Is it the city's, could we make it a green space? I mean, or is it because it's a right-of-way, it belongs to the property? Is
No,
that?
because it's a right-of-way, it belongs to the city. The city could not revoke it.
Yeah, you don't
Leave it
have to
alone.
keep it.
You don't
Yeah.
have
Right,
to revoke it.
right.
You
No,
don't
I
have to
realize
revoke
that,
it.
but can you do other things with it?
Do whatever you want to do with it.
Also, the map that we have, and again, it's not linked right, but the last meeting has it. It looks like it's just a very small portion, and then the rest of George Perkins Drive, there's a right-of-way going further back. So what about the rest of that? If we're going to revoke something, shouldn't we revoke all of it? Why are we revoking just a very short piece?
Do you know, Jeffrey?
Jeffrey, you're out planning.
Oh, yeah.
Help us there.
No, like when it comes to the right-of-way revocations and like that, it's just a matter of the property owners coming and asking the city if the right-of-way has been revocated. And Andre, correct me if I'm saying anything incorrect. They have to approach the city and ask to be divided. And if they do that, it has to be divided between the two property owners. And so the rest of the right-of-way that has been revocated just stays as revocated right-of-way that.
So, but then the rest of this property, so you have this fronting Mooney, according to your map, and everything behind this would stay the city's. It's our job to maintain it. It's our job to cut it. That doesn't make any sense, right?
You wouldn't be able to get to it, I guess.
Right. I mean, you
Dead
have
end,
to,
yeah.
how would you even access
That's
it?
not a
I guess
good-
George Perkins Drive, you could get to it, but.
Not a good
And
point.
what we've
You'd
been
have to-
doing is, I stay there. What we've been doing is we've been keeping the property cut. We've been keeping the property clean. Miss Marion right there, she'll tell you what all we've been doing over there. So it's never been an issue. So we the ones been keeping it clean. We never sent the city no bill. We've been keeping it clean because of the community.
Well, I don't think that's good, I mean, planning, if you're gonna take a piece, even present a piece, and then not the rest of the piece of the road, so, but anyways, now, that other comment back before about, a single-family house that was given a permit, but then it turned into double, what, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I'm quite honestly not sure about that one. I haven't seen that permit come across.
Okay, that's what I was curious about.
Again, I think from the council, maybe Lacey, you can touch base with Robert and have Robert check into that and report back, because we need to know, because if we issued a permit, if the city issued a permit for a single family, that's what needs to be built there.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
in reference to what we have going on tonight with this revocation, council, it's in your hands. If you want to table this or just deny this or go back and look at it and say, well, maybe get Park and Recreation to come out there and look at it, maybe we can do something more better for the community than just to revocate the property. It's in your hands.
Well, it's in my district, it's in District 3, and I'm gonna vote no on it.
Can I put as a disclaimer from the city planner as an employee, because right now our code of ordinance does state that for revocation of right-of-ways, that the only way we can do anything with that right-of-way is to split it between the two property owners and give it, and that's written within the council's code of ordinances. So if there's anything else that we can do that would be useful for revocated right-of-ways like that, it'd be very useful if the council could give more options, I guess, for the property owner, or for the city. For the
It's a good idea.
If you don't revocate it, it's still in the hands of the city.
Exactly.
They can do whatever they want to do with it. So I think a motion has been made.
Yes.
And let's see the wishes of the council. And that's something we can look across the board throughout the whole city with this property and revocation thereof. Because we want the city to look nice. We have a lot of things going on in the city right now in order to make it a better place to live. Thank all the council for what you're doing, helping us with the House Committee. We deeply involved, planning and zoning, we deeply involved. We're serious about this. I have grandkids growing up here. I live here. We want it nice. Okay? We want to protect all neighborhoods, all the way. So I think, let's listen to the wishes of the council, but let's be very slow to move and quick to think when we start getting our property around the city, because we may be putting it in the wrong hands. Okay?
Thank you.
So you made a motion, Devon, to.
One second before we go into that. Is there anyone else from the public that has anything they want to say on this matter before we move forward?
South Chestnut. I was talking to the young lady just a while ago. You said y'all got a permit. Okay, when you start building, don't you sort of ask the people in the neighborhood, do they want to allow complex and stuff in the neighborhood? Because I know right now FEMA are moving trailers in the neighborhood, when at one time you couldn't even put a trailer in the neighborhood. Now they putting trailers in the neighborhood in the city limit.
Well, I mean, if it's zoned for it, then I mean, the city, if the property is zoned for whatever, they're getting a permit for.
What I'm talking about is FEMA.
Yeah.
Is allowing trailers to go in the neighborhood when y'all, at one time, we couldn't have no trailers in the neighborhood.
I think right now FEMA's allowed that for the construction property.
Mr. Jeffrey need to talk about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Jeffrey, that's a question for you. Why are you here?
Trailers in our neighborhood, when at one time we could not have trailers in our neighborhood. I live at 703, I live at 809 South Chestnut, but 703, I have property. I got 2 properties, and y'all putting the trailers in them. And I wanted to know, can I put a trailer in the neighborhood? Not no FEMA trailer, a trailer that I would buy.
I think.
Answer that. Step up.
I mean, when it comes to the FEMA trailers, they're not really.
I was here when, so the council, and we passed an emergency ordinance. It was the exact same ordinance that was passed after Hurricane Katrina. It is very limited use of, you must hook in the trailer in very specific ways into the city's sewer and water. It has to be permitted through the building permit office. And so far, to my knowledge, there have only been 2 or 3 of those done. If you have any that we need to look at, we'll be happy to go and see if they moved that in without permission, because that may be what had happened.
Property owner, no one want to clean the canal out. That's why a lot of people in our neighborhood, North Jane Drive, where the funeral home go to dead end, a lot of homeowners, insurance ain't paid them. Water 4 to 6 feet came into their house. So what are the city doing about this? Why they not cleaning our canal out? They got certain neighborhoods they clean the canal out. They got money that they got right now that they finna use. Come into our neighborhood, clean our neighborhoods up. Don't go to certain neighborhoods and clean the neighborhood up. Clean all the ditches up. Because that's why a lot of homeowners got washed away. Your canal's not being cleaned. Come on now, the canals is not being cleaned. Insurance ain't paying nobody no money.
So some of the canals are owned by the city, some are not. They're owned by the drainage district.
Yes, that's what they said. It's not owned by the city, but the parish.
The drainage
I
district.
went to the parish before. I done went down, what that is, 51 Wood. I went and talked to them. They came out and said the canal look good. No, the canal ain't look good. All that trash in the canal, all those tires in the canal. No, we got to do something about that. We pay taxes. We do all this. Clean the canals out. Clean the city. Just clean all the city out. They got money.
Ms. Jack,
Secretary,
Ms. Jack, you're fine.
Excuse me.
You're fine. That's something that the city need to look into more.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for everything.
I'm sorry if I
No, be yourself. That's the problem now. We have to fake up here, but be yourself. No, thank you. That's something that the city gonna look into more, and the parish. Thank you, ma'am. You come up.
All right.
Hold on, one more.
Y'all mind?
No, yeah, ask him.
You gave Mr. Starwood a permit to put,
No, ma'am, he's the city planner. The building official issues the building permits.
okay, did that person come out and see the home where he wants to put a duplex?
Yes, ma'am, all the permits that are issued in terms of building have inspections that happen on site at that location. So they have to turn in plans for what they're gonna build, and then that has to meet all the city's rules for how that gets built. And then they conduct inspections on site to make sure that what they're building matches up to what the plans are and what's allowed by the rules.
So you're saying that that home that he wants to make a duplex is fit
I'm not saying about any address because I haven't heard an actual address yet, and I haven't seen those plans, and I didn't.
701 Mooney Avenue.
We will be happy to check that tomorrow to make sure that what's happening is allowed by city rules, and if it's not allowed by city rules, then it will be stopped.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Marion. That was a good question, and now we have it on record that what the mayor administration just said. Thank you.
All right. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion. To deny. I make a motion to deny.
Second.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
All right. Final adoption number 2.
Final adoption of an ordinance, final adoption of an introduction of an ordinance to rename Mooney Park to Gibson Memorial Park. Councilman Wells.
Yes, we spoke about this earlier. It's something I'm gonna take off the agenda, and I'm gonna go back to the community, and we're gonna decide as a whole on what name we're gonna name Mooney Park. And Ms. Lacy, thank you for your history about the first mayor of Hammond, and talk about the word history. Right now, we're in Black History Month, and not only the park, the streets in District 3, they're gonna get new names, because we can talk about, I'm gonna say it, we can talk about white history, but we never talk about black history. And so the history, we here to make rules, we here to make decisions, and we here to change things. We can't keep leaving it like it was in the 50s, in the 60s. That's the sewer issue we dealing with. When they brought the sewer in District 3, we still dealing with the sewer issues. My grandfather and them had an outhouse, and yet now we still dealing with outhouse sewer coming in the house. So, yeah, so history gonna be changed. Whether you like it, whether I like it, the history got to be changed. It's not for me, it's for the kids that's coming after me. So be prepared, get ready. Whatever fight y'all have aboard, be prepared, because guess what? History gonna be changed, whether you like it or not.
So, Councilman, that's a motion to remove this item from the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Second.
Who made the second?
Carly.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Introduction of ordinance and set for public hearing. Introduction number 1.
Introduction of an ordinance to amend the budget for fiscal year 2021 through 2022. Lacey Landrum.
This is the annual amendment that we do after the audit is completed. All that we are doing is changing the beginning fund balances. When we produce the budget that you approve effective July 1, that is based on what we estimate as being the beginning fund balances for July 1. Once we have crossed over that and completed the audit towards the middle, after the middle of the year, we come back and we amend the beginning fund balances to be what they actually were on July 1 instead of what they were estimated at being at July 1. So fortunately, this is a rather wonderful budget amendment because it adds money into the budget to give you flexibility for the rest of the year for projects. Additionally, we are running way ahead on sales tax revenue. So thank you for shopping locally. Thank you, and continue to shop in Hammond. That helps us get even more projects be accomplished. And so what we are requesting with this is the addition of $4 million into the sales tax revenue line item to recognize that additional funding. So that is what this is. Attached is the summary of the budget amendments that show what the original estimated beginning fund balance was versus what we would be amending it to, and then the increase or decrease What's also attached is the new consolidated budget, should all of these be approved, and they show then your ending fund balances, which gives you, again, the flexibility to go forward with potentially more projects during this year. This is just for introduction, and our finance director is at an accounting conference for today and tomorrow. She will be back for the public hearing should you choose to introduce this. We will have a full slide set because I know that's what Councilman Wells appreciates, and we like to have feedback from the public as well to step through each one of these and to talk about any questions you might have.
Just since I will ask for next time, but what's with the salary study? Any update? Because obviously we're well over budget. It's a great time to to look at that.
Well, and hopefully we will be getting those numbers towards the end of this month. That's what the consultant has held true. They did meet with all the department heads on one Friday. They then met with any employees who wish to meet with them as well. And then I think they've also gotten feedback via email or phone calls from employees or from department heads with follow-up information. They are looking at a very creative way to offer you lots of options. So not only are they going to be offering you what are the competitive starting salaries for the different positions, but they're also looking at some positions that might enable incentive pay or retention pay that might help us either recruit and have more people apply for jobs versus also retain people in those and create career paths for a more steady workforce going forward.
Good.
One question. The secretary, did anybody reach out to Ms. Lisa?
The entire city received the email that came from HR.
Yeah, because from what I gathered, I done talked to several workers from the city, and what I thought I voted on, that the person was supposed to talk to each individual, not have somebody speaking on their behalf.
They can talk individually to the consultant. We don't necessarily have, we have the same types of positions, so not everybody has a unique position. So what they're doing is they're creating a starting salary based on each unique position. So if every individual wanted to speak to the consultant, they can. It may not be necessary because there may be several people who are all in the same type of position.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could say that, but I'm gonna say this here. Can't nobody speak for me when it comes to a raise. And that sound good, but the people that I talked to, they wanted to talk to them, but they say the department heads, they had certain ones go and talk for them.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, well.
I don't know what department head would have conveyed that to them, because every employee who was on the email received the email, and those same emails were printed out and put by the time clocks of the public works folks who may not check their email as much or who may not have an active email. So there really has been an effort. If there are other people that you're hearing from, make sure that they contact Diana. She can put them directly in touch with the consultant.
Okay.
Because everybody has a right to speak to the consultant.
Yeah, because I heard you say this here. He came on a Friday, right?
He came up 2 different Fridays.
Yeah. So how many employees does City of Hammond have?
Right now, probably around 300.
300 employees.
Mm-hmm.
So it took him 2 Fridays. And I'm just listening at what you said. 2 Fridays, he ain't gonna get a chance to talk to all the employees. The problem is, and I'm just gonna sit here and say, the problem is the emails, everybody don't have emails account. I don't know how the time clock look out there or wherever, but the employees that I done talked to that came to me and asked me, man, when we're gonna get the raise? I asked, did you talk to anybody? They telling me no. So, and I thought I voted on whoever was supposed to do it, that he was supposed to talk to each individual.
Not every individual employee is going to be interviewed. They have the opportunity to do that if they wish to speak one-on-one with the consultant. But the consultant is not going to go to every employee and ask them questions. Some have decided as a group, they met as a group with the consultant. Some met as individuals with the consultant. Some spoke to their department head. Some put things in writing and handed it out. Each person has kind of a different take that they have done in order to participate. But if someone is telling you that they have not been given the opportunity to participate, that is surprising to me, because what we have tried to convey over and over again is that every person has the opportunity to participate. So I would encourage whomever you have spoken to talk to Diana, our HR director, as soon as possible so that they can get one-on-one time with the consultant.
Okay, will do. But from this point on, and I'm gonna make it real easy. If you would have posted on everybody's check, we're gonna read our check. Everybody would have saw it.
Everybody knows that we're doing a salary study right now. Everybody has been talking about it. Everybody's been talking about it in group meetings, in department meetings, individually. Like, that's where I'm not sure where the breakdown is. So if those are specific employees, I would love to know who they are. I would make sure that Diana gets that information so that they can get in touch with the consultant.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Make a motion to introduce.
Second.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Is there any way we can get it on their check so everybody will know they self?
And we can add a flyer to the check, but
Please.
there's a lot of people that don't actually get a paper check, and so then that might be the issue. But we'll do it again. We'll find some way to put everybody's name on something and get it out to them as quickly as we can.
Thank you. Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Public hearing will be scheduled for March 8th, 2022 at 5:30.
Introduction number 2.
An ordinance to amend the Hammond Unified Development Code to add the Suburban Highway Overlay District. Jeffrey?
Yeah, this came about, this has been an issue for a long time, I believe. Basically, and if I go into too much detail, let me know. I'm known to talk too much, but basically, in the Code of Ordinances, we have a build to line along our commercial highways, which means that buildings have to be within 15 feet of the property line. So it can't be any further away than 15 feet. And that's supposed to encourage pedestrian activity, and that's supposed to encourage just kind of like a sense of a place and give a better scale, and not big parking lots in front of businesses and whatnot, and just make Hammond seem more like a community place. So that's how our Code of Ordinance reads. But on the suburban areas and on highways, we always have people coming in and wanting to build closer to the highways, because being 15 feet off a major highway is fairly difficult for them to do. And so this has been going on at the Planning Commission for a long time, before my time too. And at the last meeting, we gave a recommendation or the Planning Commission gave a recommendation to amend that. And in your packet was the report that I gave to the Planning Commission, because basically I wanted to outline what issues were being created. Then I wanted to use our comprehensive plan, our major street plan, to try and figure out how to go about and make it a little bit better, so we didn't have that build to line that was 15 feet from the property line, but we were still keeping that pedestrian and scalability within the city. So that report outlines everything from the comprehensive plan and the major street plan. And basically what the recommendation from the Planning Commission was to have all the lots that were fronting on arterial streets within the city. So we took what was identified in the master street plan and took the arterials that were in there, and that includes North Morrison Boulevard, University Avenues, East and West Thomas Streets, and Southwest Railroad Avenue and Veterans Boulevard. But in the understanding that we wanted this to apply to the suburban areas. So the back, to do that, we'd use the future land use map, the comprehensive plan, and the major street plan to select basically the one-way pairs along Thomas Street, along Southwest Railroad Avenue, all the way to the city limits, and then all of North Morrison Boulevard and University Avenue from the city limits to Cherry Street. I included a map of that we handed out that you can kind of look over that, and because what we would be doing is creating a new overlay district for those areas that would increase the build 2 line from 15 feet to 60 feet. And then also include to make sure that there was landscaping in front of the parking lot to kind of create that attractiveness, so we don't have those massive parking lots in front of the buildings. So that's the purpose of this ordinance, and it would be basically be creating a new overlay district in our UDC. So.
My only question about this is, are the property owners affected? Have they been given notice? Because you know how every time we try and do something, everyone says, wait, I didn't even know any of that was going on.
So when it comes to, and might lean on Andre for this, but state law says when you're doing a large rezoning like this, it's almost impossible to notify the property owners that it's taking effect. As you can see in the map, how many lots that is. And by state law, you don't have to notify all individual property owners when you do a major change in zoning like this. So the answer to that is no. We would rely on you guys getting out to your constituents, us getting out to the people that are applying for us, because we do have a lot of property owners that come in for variances for this, and really that's what we're trying to avoid.
Is it possible that you or someone can reach out to the Daily Star and kind of give an understanding of what this is, so that it's put in the newspaper, so that people will know that it's happening? I mean, the last thing I want is us to, have this meeting in 2 weeks, and then people come in and say, I'm adamantly opposed to this for these reasons, and it's the first time anybody's heard anything.
Nope, I agree.
And any advocate too. I mean, I think that probably as many people in the Hammond area read that as they do the Daily Star.
Yeah, and we can share it to Action News or something like that.
Yeah,
We can do
another good thing, Action News, yeah.
Press release.
We can definitely do a press release, and I'll get that report on the website.
Perfect.
Just to make sure, we just want to make sure all the information's out there.
Yes. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Can I get a motion?
Make a motion, introduce.
Second.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Public hearing will be scheduled for March 8, 2022 at 5:30.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Meeting adjourned. All right, we're going to move right into our Wilbur Daniel Field Award of Excellence.